Hello and welcome to the UK's Currency Corner at OFX, where we'll be looking at all the events coming up in the market and all the events that could affect UK SMEs in the next month or so. My name's Hamish Muress. I'm one of the Senior Currency Analysts here at OFX, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague Jake Trask, our FX Research Director. So Jake, first of all, let's just touch upon what happened at the back end of last year. A lot to think about. What were your thoughts? What were your highlights?
Indeed, it was a busy end to the year last year. We had the Federal Reserve hiking rates again in middle of December, as expected. And from the pound's perspective, there was positive news from Brexit negotiations with the preliminary agreement coming between the two sides, which means talks in March will move on to transition and trade.
Okay, so Brexit, obviously it's going to be a big year for Theresa May. Do you think she gets the strong Brexit that she wants and a good deal? Do you reckon we're going to see some potential upside for the pound?
Oh, for sure. If there's a positive outcome from those March talks between the two camps, and there is talk of a bespoke trade arrangement, as Britain so wants, then pound will rally for sure. But until that point, it's going to be capped around the 136, 136.5 handle at the most, unless we see some surprising upside from the data between now and then.
Okay. Onto the Euro front and the Eurozone. Last 18 or so months, I don't think anyone would disagree, has been sort of the time for the Euro. But March, again, big month clearly. Going to have Italian elections, big risk for the Euro. Yeah,
for sure. The Euro's been the star performer, as you say, over the past year of the major currencies. You know, the road bump on the horizon is the Italian election. It's looking like you know, some of the rhetoric coming from the five-star separatist party isn't going to come to fruition. They're going to look to keep the euro if they come into power. But it is looking like more and more like that the Forza Italia, led by Berlusconi, will come as a coalition government.
Welcome back, Silvio Berlusconi.
Absolutely,
maybe.
Yeah.
Across the pond, in the States, Donald Trump got his tax reform just at the back end of last year, got midterms in towards September, October time, a bit too far away maybe, but US interest rate hikes, new Fed.
Yeah, will the Fed hike 3 or 4 times this year? It's the one in March looks pretty much a done deal. Janet Yellen is being replaced as the head by Jerome Powell in February, and obviously the dollar's getting a bit of a should be getting a tailwind from this tax reform plan, but it's a lot more diluted than Donald Trump would have liked. And you know, the dollar's actually been suffering over the past couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, different makeup of the Fed as well. A couple of doves being replaced by hawks this year.
Yeah.
So you obviously got to keep an eye out for that as well. Next week, big week. Do you reckon cable's going to break out of 136 with some data?
Yeah. Well, the year high for the past 12 months for cable pound US has been 136.5. If inflation surprises to the upside, and at the end of the month we get some positive GDP figures, the Q4 GDP preliminary reading is due out, then we may see some upside. But as I said, you know, the Brexit negotiations until then will probably weigh on the pound.
So we've had a lot of our clients and a lot of UK businesses taking advantage of sterling weakness ever since Brexit. What do you think this means for them if we do see some sterling upside over the next 12 or so months?
Yeah.
What can we do?
A lot of clients have been buying pounds now, whilst it's been relatively weak, especially against the euro. But should, you know, that the pound, you know, rally as we go through Easter time, let's say, you know, there is that distinct upside that pound could go up to, you know, towards 140 against the dollar. So maybe those people who are looking to buy pounds should hedge now whilst it's relatively weak.
Okay, well, Jake, thank you very much. Clearly a lot to think about, a lot to keep you an eye out for. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.